All right, here we are. New Guys episode 17. Coming at you with another late night edition. Got a big special here, a couple top 10 lists for you. But before we get into it, right away, quick, kind of blitz right here. Anthony is going to give his WWE rundown in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep this quick.
Graham's got the timer ready.
I know
I'm taking the over.
I know it's kind of late right now. And
I'm taking the under. I believe in you, Anthony.
We want to kind of just get the show rolling. We got a very special edition here today. Extreme Rules tomorrow. I'm going to run through my predictions real quick in 2 minutes or less. Tomorrow I'm going to be watching it, and I'm going to try and get my what did we just watch article up within a half hour when the show goes off the air. So look forward to that late tomorrow night. So whenever you're ready, give me the go ahead.
All right, Anthony,
No, I don't have it yet. 40 seconds.
I don't have it yet. 120 seconds from right now.
All right, so I'm a bit short now. First off, we got Sasha Banks versus Oscar for the Rowan Championship. I hate you. You're a dick. Oscar versus Sasha Banks for the Rowan Championship. I'm taking Oscar in this one easily just because obviously Banks and Bayley are gonna build up a feud. Bringing us there, and Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross. There's no way Nikki Cross is winning the title. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and New Day in a tables match. Cesaro and Nakamura are going to win. I think they got too much momentum going into this match. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman, the Universal Champion, in a Wyatt Swamp fight. Really gimmicky there for this edition of Extreme Rules, but I got Bray Wyatt in a non-title match. It looks like we're going to get the three phases of Wyatt. And we're going to get the Fiend at SummerSlam. He's going to win the title there. MVP versus the United States Champion, Apollo Crews, for the title. I got Apollo Crews winning this one. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in an eye for an eye match. This is easily the hardest match of the night to call. It can go either way because Rey Mysterio supposedly has been wrestling without a contract, and Seth Rollins could be looking to take time off to spend time with Becky Lynch and their child. So I'm going to take Seth Rollins here, because I think Rey Mysterio is on his way out. And in the main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre in a stipulation that is yet to be determined. Drew McIntyre is going to walk out with his WWE Championship, as he's been doing a phenomenal job as the champion. That's it. I'm done.
Wow.
What was that, Graham?
26 seconds to spare, even with me throwing you off at the beginning. I'm impressed.
I could have went on a little bit about Mysterio and Rollins, because I think that's the hardest match of the night to call.
It's an eye for an eye match.
So they've been working up this thing where Seth Rollins, in kayfabe, took out Rey Mysterio's eye, and Rey Mysterio wants revenge. So the match doesn't end until someone's eye is gouged out. I can't wait to see how they do this.
What they took out his eye?
Jordan.
They really did it. But I really can't wait to see this. Because there's so much behind the scenes stuff that's obviously going to influence the result of the match. A lot of people are saying it's going to end in a no contest because, I don't know, they can't take somebody's eye out on television. But we'll see how that goes.
Get views. That'll get the views, though.
For everyone listening, I would like to point out the fact that Jordan Haddock is a degenerate, because asking that question was his ploy to win the over bet on how long Anthony's wrestling segment would take. That's the only thing.
I said I was
but I'm also richer.
I said I was done. I said I would roll through the predictions in 2 minutes.
And you did. You did. I give you credit to that. I give you credit.
Suck it, Jordan.
Good.
All right, Patty.
All right. Going right into it, I'm going to go with the centers list first for our top 10.
Oh, we got to preface it. We got to.
Oh, we do got to preface it, don't we? So we have 4 lists coming up tonight. Top 10 NBA centers of all time. Should be pretty interesting. Top number 1 picks of all time. I think that's going to be a very controversial one. At least Graham has said so. I think
we can explain it further once we get to it.
Yeah, just got to give a little something. Yeah. Maybe our most controversial one to date, top 10 special teamers of all time in the NFL. Got to be some hot takes there. And top championship teams of all time should be pretty interesting. But we'll, cross those bridges when we get to it. I want to lead off with centers just because I feel like that's like the least exciting one.
We should do honorable mentions.
We should mention that we're trying a new setup this week where we each do 10 through 6, and then we debate it because we feel like going back and forth is
It's easy
really
to get
hard.
lost. I forget like half the people I had on my
Right,
list.
right.
We'll go 10 through 6, and then next person will go, and then any gripes that we have with 10 through 6, we'll debate that and then move on after that. All right.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm picking Graham to go first because he's in the top
God.
left. I feel like it's only right.
This man. All right.
All right, hold on.
10
Okay. So
Oh, I gotta get to
let me go ahead and mention that this list went through a lot of edits and different versions before this final one, which I am putting out for all to see. Okay. So honorable mentions. I really only have one. My one honorable mention, or I have two. My two honorable mentions for NBA centers are Bill Walton and Dikembe Mutombo. Both of them just missed the cut. Dikembe had like tied for the most defensive player of the years all time. Like you got to respect it, but he just misses the cut because his game wasn't as well rounded as some of the other ones. So number 10, I have Dwight Howard. Number 9, I have Wes Unseld. And then 8, I have Patrick Ewing. Number 7, I have David Robinson. And number 6, I have Moses Malone.
Jesus
Rounding out the bottom five.
Wow. I have something very similar to that. Yeah, right? Yeah, me too.
all right, who's going up next?
Is that all? No, I kind of have a couple thoughts on that. I just want to say I'm happy you're giving Dwight Howard the recognition he deserves. I'm a big Dwight Howard guy. I feel like a lot of people don't think he's a Hall of Famer, which he clearly is.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see him get that respect.
Some people, one of his seasons with the Lakers, I think it was in 2012. He had it was 22 and 14 with 3 blocks per game. I mean, he was crazy.
I think it might have, it was either that or Orlando. But the Lakers.
So what happened? Yeah. So originally, I said this list went through a lot of versions. Originally, I had Elvin Hayes on my list, and then I looked into stats, and he played power forward, so I had to change things up a little bit. Yeah, he played power forward, so I had to change things up, and I had a new spot open up. And Pat, you sent me your list for the graphic, and I was like, "Whoa!" Not to spoil anything, but he had him on there, and so I looked into the stats, and career
underrated.
Yes, career 17 and 12 average, 17 points a game, 12 rebounds a game. That's ridiculous. And he's got a career 50 for real, and career almost 59% from the floor. That's ridiculous. And I know he only shoots inside, but still. So I didn't realize the numbers were there until I started looking into them. So easy pick for number 10 for me. And Wes Unseld gets a lot of hate.
He gets no respect, I feel.
Absolutely none.
Especially being that he played back in the day.
For real. He won the MVP in his rookie year. Who does that? Who does that? Nobody. Shut up. Anthony raised his hand oh, that's me. I did that. Yeah. So yeah, that's my 10 through 6.
All right. I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
All right. So for honorable mentions, Dwight Howard, I have Alonzo Mourning as well.
Another one. Hornets legend.
Who doesn't get talked about that much?
Respect.
Yeah.
He deserves some respect. So for number 10, I have Bill Walton. 9, I have Dave Cowens, Celtics. Great. Love that guy. Unbiased, though, list. Unbiased.
Usually unbiased.
Two Celtics guys, top two.
Okay, but Walton, come on. I have Ewing at 8, and then I have David Robinson at 7 and Moses Malone at 6. So me and Graham have 8 through 6. We have the same list, but 10 and 9 were different.
Yeah.
All right, so honorable mentions. I'm going to go Willis Reed, Dwight Howard, and Robert Parrish, another Celtics great. And then at 10, I have Dikembe Mutombo, and I have written in parentheses next to it, defense in all caps. Number 9.
I have the picture saved.
All right. I have George Mikan. That's how you say his name, right? Of the Bucks.
Mikan.
I think it's
Mikan. Same. I don't know.
Sorry.
And then I think we have the same 8 to 6. I have Patrick Ewing at 8, David Robinson 7, and Moses Malone at 6.
Wow. There we go. I'd like to see it.
Mine's very similar to Graham's with Dwight Howard. Honorable mention. I'm sorry. Willis Reed I had, as well as Dikembe Mutombo. Big defense guy. Love the finger wag. 10 I had Dwight Howard. 9 I had Bill Walton. 8 I had Patrick Ewing. 7 I had Robinson, and 6 I had Moses Malone.
See, I think that's
8 to 6 undeniable.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
See, Jordan, I feel this people are disrespecting Wes Unseld. Like, I feel like people forget about him because he played for the Bullets, and so that is supposed to like automatically discount what he did. But like,
no, I think
he has a Rookie of the Year. He has a Rookie of the Year and an MVP in the same year. He has a Finals MVP. He has a ring, 5 All-Stars, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, like, it's enough to get him in the top 10. I feel like he won the rebound championship. Or he was the rebound leader. He was really on and off throughout his career, but like when you look at the numbers, they're there. He averaged 11 and 14 over his career. So
yeah, but I think Dave counts in terms of accomplishments. He has everything that Unseld has, but I think he was a bit better defensively. That's why I have him over. And the same with Bill Walton. I think all 3 of those guys were fantastic defenders and rebounders, but I think Walton has the extra ring and matches Unseld on pretty much every other aspect of the game. I think he averaged a bit more points, but I think in terms of defense, I'd grab Walton, and he has the extra ring, which puts him over there. But I didn't mention Unseld for honorable mention, but I'd probably put him in there too.
Yeah. Bill Walton, like early in his career, back when he was on the Blazers, was absolutely like an absolute monster.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like
he's what got him that ring. Like he did that.
He literally is.
Well, and people forget, like when he went to the Celtics, people are like, well, he was kind of like washed, but like he won 6th Man of the Year, and like he was on the team with all the Hall of Famers. So, and he won 6th Man of the Year that year. So he was a key part in their championship without a doubt.
For sure. And Dave Cowens was, I saw a thing the other day actually, the only players to lead their teams in every statistical category. Mm-hmm. Dave Cowens was the first guy to do that back in like 76 or 77. So
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely underrated there.
I mean, when you say he was washed on that Celtics team with all the Hall of Famers, I mean, yeah, he obviously wasn't in his prime days, but you got to look at the talent that was around him and everyone else that was just a little step ahead of him at the time. Can't take it away from him.
Well, and one of the things I like about that is like you see a lot of players when they grow older and older, it's like they seem to want to like think they're a lot better than they actually are. I don't know specific games, but I would even say like to an extent, like him, Pierce, Garnett, like when they went to the Nets, I think they when they started to trail off, it's almost like they wanted to stay when they like where they were in 06 and stuff. But like Walton kind of adapted to like when he wasn't as good as he was 10 years ago. He just played the role and helped him out, obviously. So that's why I got him there. But I feel like the next 5 guys is going to be interesting because there's all. I think
where the controversy comes in.
It should have the same people. I think
we should have the same people.
Oh yeah,
it better have the same.
If you're missing one of these guys, you're gonna get roasted not only by us but by
the millions and millions
by the way fans. Yeah,
I can say with confidence that we won't have that issue, but the order is gonna be the kicker.
I guarantee me and Graham disagree. I already know there's one player that we're gonna disagree on because I think we've had a conversation about it in the past. Maybe on a past episode.
I respect your list. So we'll just jump right in. I went first with my 6. So all right. So at number 5, I have Hakeem.
Oh. I already hear him groaning.
Oh my god.
At number 4. Yeah. At number 4, I've got Shaq. At number 3, I've got Wilt. 2, Bill, and Kareem number 1.
Right.
You go,
Jordan, take it.
Want me to go? All right. So I have Wilt at 5, Bill at 4,
Jeez.
Hakeem at 3, Shaq at 2.
Oh my god, dude!
What?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
You guys are both Bill Russell lovers.
I'm really not.
Yeah, you are. You've met two. You haven't met as the second best center ever. You just
Because
said
he is.
Bill Russell has twice as many rings as Shaq, Hakeem, and Wilt.
You're gonna go by rings?
No, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna go through mine. At 5, I have Hakeem Olajuwon. I agree with Graham there. At 4, I have Bill Russell. I just
Thank you.
3, I have Shaq, and then 2, I have Wilt, and then Kareem at 1. I feel like that shouldn't be disputed at all.
What, Kareem at 1?
Kareem at 1.
Kareem is number 1.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right.
I have Shaq at 5. Hakeem at 4.
No.
Wilt at 3. Bill Russell at 2, and Kareem at 1.
All right.
I just want to say something. So what is your argument for Bill at 2? Like, is it the 11 rings? Is that why?
Okay, here's my argument. Here's my argument for Bill at 2. All right. When we go back, we've done a couple episodes like this. We talk about how we fit dominance into our like rankings and stuff like that. Not only was Bill the most dominant player of his time, he was. Listen. Okay, so you go back, you look at the games between Wilt and Bill in the playoffs. Wilt just could not get past Bill Russell like that. They played at the same time, and Wilt just got absolutely dominated by Bill Russell in the playoffs. It'd be like if you were to say that Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady because of his stats, but Brady consistently beat Manning in the playoffs. Like that's I know it's a little bit different with Bill and Wilt from Peyton and Brady, but you get my point. So first of all, I don't know how you can put Wilt over Bill in that aspect. And then secondly,
I don't have him over.
I know you don't. Yeah. I think it was
Anthony
Anthony.
has
well. Anthony has meant 2, I think. Yeah.
I don't get that at all. But
I don't.
My thing, Bill. Yeah.
With Bill, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Bill versus Wilt is sure you give Wilt the stats, you give him the scoring, you give him the rebounding. I don't care what you give him. Every time that he matched up with Bill Russell, nearly every single time, Bill Russell kicked his ass. And the only time that Wilt was really scoring was when the Celtics had already won the game and he was scoring in garbage time. But even if Wilt didn't get the points against Bill Russell got the win. And if he beat him that many times consistently, I can't put him over Wilt. And against the other guys, Hakeem and Shaq, as dominant as Shaq was, as skillful and as much of a pioneer in the post as Hakeem was with a dream shake and all that. Hakeem has 2 rings and defensive stalwart. He's a great scorer as well. But 11 rings versus 2, and then with Shaq, he won the 3 rings with the Lakers. The 4th one with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade really carried that team to the ring against the Mavericks. And Shaq could have been the best center of all time, probably, if he had a work ethic. But he was lazy. He said it himself for much of his career. And, I'm not going to.
But he was still the most dominant player ever.
Yeah.
See,
that's my argument. For one, all right, the Bill Russell versus Will argument. I don't think that one of the in my top 10, I have Russell at 10 and I have Wilt at 11. That's one of the big reasons I put Russell over Will every time because 1, he dominated him when he played him. 2, he has way more rings, and 3, I think defensively there was a huge gap, even though Will had him on the offense. If you're looking at head-to-head, Russell ripped him apart.
By far, yeah.
The problem I have with people putting Russell over Hakeem and Shaq is, for one, I think that both Hakeem and Shaq were more dominant than Bill Russell. 2, Bill Russell just wasn't a good offensive player. He just wasn't. He averaged 16 points back then. That's not good. It's not like he was playing in the 90s. Wilt was averaging 35. He was averaging half of that. If you're averaging 16 back in the 50s and the 60s, you're probably averaging close to 10 right now. So, offensively, he was just not a good player. And that's not a knock against him. He played the game how it was meant to be played to win a championship. But you're talking about in terms of both offense and defense, Shaq, I think, I'd argue that he beats him in both. I don't know if there's a better rim protector than Shaq. And offensively, other than Dennis Rodman and, Ben Wallace, no one could stop the guy. And like you said, Pat, if he had a better work ethic, and there's been all those conversations with Phil Jackson saying that he could have won 6 MVPs and all that stuff. But there's never been a player more dominant than Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. And I don't know how anyone can other than Kareem, who may have been more dominant, I think you could argue has been more dominant, but I can't find an argument for Bill Russell over any of those guys. And then Hakeem, I think Hakeem gets underrated just because he only has those 2 rings. But people forget how dominant he was those 2 years that Jordan wasn't there. I think it was 95 or one of the years he won. He was the only player ever to win Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Finals MVP, and get the ring. And he led his team in every statistical category. Assists, point. Like, if your center is leading in assists, that shows that your team is not that good. And I think it was
60 that year. Lowest seed to
yeah, exactly. I think he had to beat Malone and Stockton in the first round. Like, that's impressive as hell. His 2 rings, people always say, like, whose rings should count for more than one. And I don't necessarily think he should get more credit for that, but talking about the most underrated rings ever, Hakeem easily has the most underrated 2 because people think, oh, Jordan left and then Hakeem just stepped in. Hakeem had 2 of the most dominating seasons ever, and people seem to just throw that away and be like, well, he only had 2 rings. So
fair argument. I'm gonna agree to disagree with you on that one.
And I'm not a basketball guy. You guys know that I'm not a basketball guy, and that just made absolute sense to me.
Yeah, Anthony wants to switch his entire list now. But Jordan, when we get to number 1 overall picks, you are going to have a time with your Shaq love.
Why?
You'll see what I mean. But
okay.
When and this is the all of the things that you just said. I get your argument.
Shaq on my list.
Huh?
I just realized that Shaq was the first overall pick. I missed him completely. Oh my god.
Oh no. It's okay. It's all right. You admit it though now, so
this is not okay. Oh my god,
man! Don't worry about
it. I feel
it.
so bad. I feel so bad for Graham.
Right, Graham, give me a rebuttal here.
No, don't worry. So I have no problem with your argument about Shaq. I think that Shaq at number 2 is, I don't know that it's a hot take. It's not a popular one though. And so the thing that I like.
I think I
understand what you're saying about Hakeem, and I think that you're right in saying that his 2 rings are underrated, and that he just absolutely went off in those 2 years, and he was good beyond those 2 years, but like still, it's just hard. The greatness that it takes to win 11 rings in 13 years it's never been done in pro sports before by anybody. And say what you want about what Bill Russell did on the offensive side of the ball, but he was consistently the best player on his team every year.
But don't act like that competition was better than it was.
That's true, but he's still to get through Will.
Here's the thing with that. Everybody always says 8 teams in the league then, but if you think about it, yeah, sure. So there's not as many teams to go through, but considering there's a very limited number of teams in the league, that means that the talent on each team is, statistically way higher than it would be in other times. Granted, we all know 60s basketball wasn't what it is today. I'm not trying to say that it is, but I'm also trying to say it doesn't really discredit the 11 rings, the fact that you won 8 rings in a row. 8 years in a row. Nobody stopped you.
That's one of the reasons why I have him at 10. If I was grading on talent for where I rank players, Bill Russell wouldn't be in my top 10. He just wouldn't. He was not a good offensive player. Like, if you're scoring, like I said, if you're scoring 15 back then, you're probably scoring 10 now, maybe even less. He was known for the defensive end. I cannot rank a player that was just a one-dimensional guy over someone like Shaq. I just can't do it.
Here's another thing I want to say about.
I respect it.
Go ahead. No, I can respect it, but something I want to say about Shaq is difference between physically dominant and an actual dominant player. I mean, not that Shaq wasn't actually dominant, but obviously he's like the most physically imposing guy the league's ever seen. But I would argue that Jordan in his heyday is probably more dominant than Shaq, just from pure like unstoppableness and winning. But this thing is like, yeah, obviously you put Shaq against Jordan in the post or something. Nobody's going to stop
Shaq is physically more dominant.
I think you can make the argument at his position, Shaq was as dominant as Michael Jordan was at his. I think that's fair. And if you're comparing, if you're even trying to make the comparison of like, well, is he above MJ or not? Like that should stand
Obviously
alone
not.
as like that's crazy that you're making that comparison of like was someone as dominant as MJ because obviously MJ was so dominant. So again, I don't.
At his position, I definitely agree with you.
Pat,
And
you
another
fell right
thing-
into his trap. You fell
I know,
right
he's
into it.
friggin' this guy, man. I swear, he's still
Yeah.
wrong. But okay. Do we want to go into number one picks and get that controversial right away, or do we want to go championship
can we
team?
please
I want to
do
save.
that?
I want to save the best for last. Is the thing.
Yeah, should we do special
I
teams,
think you're-
bro?
Just special teams last.
I'll just
Like,
rattle mine
No.
off, bro.
No,
Nothing.
specialty.
Let's do special
Let's
teams.
get it out of the way.
Should we just get? We should
Alright.
just get out of the way.
Top
I don't know if you
special teams.
suggested this. I'm not a big fan of it, but we did it. I don't know why.
It's
honestly.
different. It's
Hold
different.
on. I need to go back. We owe the shout out to
To the people.
who suggested these lists. Yeah, give me a second. So NBA Sinners, that one's from my boy Zeke.
That was a good one.
He's a legend. He drops at least one or two, and I liked them both. So shout out Zeke.
Right.
This next one, special teamers. I gotta find the screenshot. Special teamers at _chivalrous_trickster. I have no idea what his
A
real
long
name is,
name.
but yeah, what a guy. Top 10
okay,
special teamers.
I'll give this name. It's a unique list. We didn't get any other special team recommendations, but it's also
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's also the
different.
hardest list because I didn't know that much about any of these
I
guys.
still can't believe it.
I had to do the most research for this list. I think out of
Yeah.
anything ever.
Really?
Like, I didn't
What'd
know
you say,
any.
I said I did the most research for my top number one picks list, and I did because I'm gonna give a quick spoiler. I put 2 baseball players on my list, and I did the most for these guys. I looked up all their stats. I wrote down so much stats. I texted all my friends who were baseball players. I asked them for opinions, and it just completely fucking escaped me that Shaq was up there as well. So I really want to
If
include
I can
him.
give a spoiler,
I don't want
I
to.
knew that Shaq was the number one pick, and he might not be on my list. I just want to see. Sorry to cut you off, Anthony. I just need to see Jordan's reaction.
All right.
He
Special
best be on your
teamers.
list.
So do I include Shaq and make Graham do
Go ahead. I'll go back and redo it.
the
for you.
graphic? Put in.
Wait, what list are we doing right now?
Special teamers.
Oh, okay.
All right, because my anxiety went through the fucking roof. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get absolutely shit on by every 12-year-old on Instagram for not including Shaq on my top first picks.
If you're keeping track at home, this is now what 6 or 7 episodes in a row where we've had to mark the episode as explicit on Spotify. So, great job, Anthony. All right.
Hey.
So now we don't have any like we can just say whatever the fuck we want.
Well, actually,
All right.
it's always Jordan that ruins it, not me.
That's true.
Thank you.
I'm just
Graham
saying.
says-
All right.
Graham says something stupid, and then I'm like, what the fuck?
That is normally how it happens. All right. So I don't have any honorable mentions for special teamers just because like
It's special team.
I have one.
it's special
Matthew
teamers.
later.
Okay, I do have one. Shane Leckler, special team honorable mention.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about this list is that I feel like if you don't have the same top 2 as me, you're out of your mind. But at the same time, like beyond that, it gets so fuzzy as to where you rank like returners versus kickers versus punters versus just straight up special teamers. Like how do you qualify who was better than who at a completely different position? So take that into account. I have Bill Bates with the Cowboys, number 10, base number 10. I've got Gary Anderson, kicker for the Steelers, Vikings, multiple teams, number 9. I've got Gale Sayers, number 8, even though he was way better than just as a special teamer. But he was great on the special team side of the ball as well at number 8. I got Tasker with the Bills at number 7. And Morton Anderson, longtime kicker for the Saints, at number 6.
All right, I'll go next. So I don't have an honorable mention. I'll throw Matthew Slater in there for the respect, but
Oh, yeah.
all right, at 10 I have Josh Cribbs. I don't think you had him in there.
I did not.
Kind of a wild card. 9 I've Shane Leckler. 8 I have Martin Anderson, and then 7 I have Deion Sanders, and 6 I have Bill Bates. I have nothing. If you want to disagree with me, that's cool because I don't have anything to
No qualm.
rebuttal with.
I actually have a lot of stats written down for this, so
I like
if
it.
you want to disagree with me, please come at me. Honorable mention, I have Gale Sayers. And then at number 10, I have Deion Sanders. Number 9, Matthew Slater, special teamer for New England. Number 8, Steve Tasker was a returner for the Buffalo Bills. Number 7, Morton Anderson. And then number 6, I have Jan, this is another name I'm going to butcher, Stenerud, for kicker for the Chiefs back when they played in Super Bowl 4.
Deion a bit low, huh?
His stats didn't amaze me. I almost didn't include him.
I think he's second in all-time returns, though, right?
He was just like, the thing with me for Deion is that like he was one of very few people who could change a game on the special teams side of the ball. Like he's an X factor in that facet of the game, which is incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, you said you were like, how do you like? It's tough to compare guys like completely different positions, and it's almost like you could argue that kickers impact the game more than returners. Like they have more opportunities.
Oh, they definitely do. That's it.
So it's like, it's almost like, I don't know.
But when a returner changes the game, it's way more drastic than whatever a kicker.
Well, in some aspects,
it's a matter of quality versus quantity.
But you see more game-winning kicks than returns. Would be the argument.
That's true.
But, yeah. All right, go ahead, Pat.
I've got Ted Hendricks at 8. No, not 8. 10. Sorry, I'm on the phone.
He was a special teams player. I thought he was a linebacker.
I think he was
most blocked kicks of all time.
All right.
That's a good stat.
That's
stat
a good
day.
Yeah, stat head over here. Surprised you didn't have that one down, Anthony.
I didn't even see him. He didn't even come up on special teams for any research I did.
Oh, jeez. That's embarrassing.
He did 2
Google
searches.
Deion at 9, Jordan. I don't know if you have a problem with that. You can come at me if you want.
Nah, I got him at 7.
Bill Bates at 8, Gary Anderson at 7, and Brian Mitchell, the return man, at 6. He's famous for that video of Joe Buck when he's just returning and he goes, Mitchell, 3 times.
Great call by Joe Buck.
Freaking Joe Buck. Don't get me started. If we do
I hate Joe Buck.
Top 10 worst commentators, he's number 1. I hate him.
All right, we're taking a deep. Why the fuck did
they put Matthew Slater on their list?
I didn't.
Adam honorable mention.
So
I'm gonna get accused of being biased if I put him on my list.
That's true. So here's the problem that I have with Joe Buck. First of all, I've hated Joe Buck ever since when we had the Miracle at the Meadowlands with Deshaun Jackson. When he's running across the goal line, he for some reason felt the need to say "still not in." Like we weren't all watching what was happening. Like that was the first thing that set me off about Joe Buck. And then he's not awful at football, but I hate watching him on Fox for the World Series. I hate it so much.
Don't people listen to football on the radio sometimes when they're like driving? Maybe he's trying to.
Joe Buck isn't on that broadcast if he's the A team for Fox.
You can still hear him on the radio.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, because I would listen to games sometimes.
Fact check that.
I did not know that. Well, okay. So most of the time, the people that are on TV are completely different from the people on radio. But I'm not gonna say that it's impossible that call was on the radio.
Because I've definitely heard like the guys from CBS on the radio as I'm listening to a game.
But I think all commentators do that. Like say shit that like you don't need to hear, but they just say it anyway.
But Joe
Tony
Buck's
Romo.
obnoxious.
Tony Romo doesn't do anything wrong. I love Tony Romo.
Romo's making he's what, had 2 years in the league? 3? Or the league. The commentator league.
Yeah,
no,
the
in the booth. What does he have, 2 years? And he's already like moving up there.
2 years. He's great.
You know what I will say for Joe Buck? He's not as bad as Jason Witten.
That is true. Or Booger McFarland.
More of like an analyst.
I'm sorry, that entire ESPN broadcast is fucking awful.
Garbage. All right.
We should run that one day.
I'm gonna miss Booger. I'm gonna miss Booger.
I would love that. You have no idea how much I would love that list. I'm trying to have some respect for Anthony because boys got to go to work tomorrow and it's already pushing 11:30. So we got a top 5. I got the only punter in the Hall of Fame, Ray Guy, at number 5.
Beautiful.
Just mad respect for getting into the Hall as a punter. It is insane. quick side tangent. I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton this past summer. Actually, it's a whole year ago now. But if you ever have a chance to go, please go. It is the most incredible thing you will ever experience, and I loved it thoroughly. Number 4, I have Deion Sanders.
Sponsor us.
Please, that would be so awesome. I got Deion at 4, just because he was that electric.
Mm.
Number 3, I got Brian Mitchell, because Brian Mitchell is second only to Jerry Rice in all-purpose yards all time, and it's only by a couple hundred yards. But Brian Mitchell only had about 4,500 yards of his all-purpose, like 23,000, come from rushing or receiving. All of the rest of it is from returns, either punts or kicks. That is insane. That is literally like the most insane stat I have heard in a long time. And the fact that he played most of his career with the Redskins and still put up those kinds of numbers is beyond me. And then number 2, I got Devin Hester because he's just a stud. And number 1, Adam Vinatieri.
All right.
The only correct top 2.
Yeah. So I got Brian Mitchell at 5, Ray Guy at 4, I've got Tasker at 3, Hester at 2, Vinatieri at 1.
My number 5, I have Billy White Shoes Johnson, a returner for the Oilers back in the day. At number 5, number 4, I have Ray Guy, only punter in the Hall of Fame. Number 3, I have Devin Hester. And then,
bro, what?
He's gonna have like Steven Gostowski number 2 or something.
Number 2, I have Shane Leckler.
Oh my God, you have a punter at 2. I'm sorry.
Anthony, I don't know about that one.
You got to give us something.
Blew me out of the water.
Stats as a punter?
Blew me out of the water. Yeah. He ranked top 2 in punting average in 12 seasons that he played, and he played 18. So only 6 seasons.
What do punters do though, other than punt?
A punt could change a game.
Dude, Jordan, you got me with that one. I don't know.
Punt can change.
Okay,
but he dropped you into a corner with that question.
In terms of impact, though, bro, I don't know.
Five-time first-team All-Pro and a 2000s All-Decade team. I mean, come on.
You know, tell that to
you
Brett
put him above
McCurry.
Devin.
He killed the Patriots with punts in the playoff game. He really did.
Tuckrell, though.
Hey.
Fuck you. Okay, but though, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you have Vinatieri at 1, though. Like that. I feel like Vinatieri deserves it over Hester, like pretty like
handily,
like easily.
Vinatieri's a goat, no cap.
Yeah, and he just has had more like game-winning plays and like game-changing plays than Devin Hester.
It's a matter of like, as we discussed before, whether you value a kicker or a punter or returner. Because I have Matthew Slater at 9 because look what he did for us so many times this season. Our special teams and defense carried us, and a couple plays made by him drastically changed the outcome of a game, and that just shows how special teams really matters. And I had to put him up there for that.
Yeah.
Kudos.
All right, we should move on. Oh wait, shit, Pat. Sorry.
You know what? No. Let's just move on. That's fine. Okay with that.
Sorry. I got confidence in your list that we don't even need to. I know it's gonna be right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I got Ray Guy at 5, Steve Tasker at 4, Morton Anderson at 3, Hester at 2, Vinatieri at 1.
Okay, moving on.
All agree.
Let's go.
Right, what are we doing next?
Right. So we definitely want to do championship teams last.
Okay, so we want to do number 1 picks now.
All right, so this one comes from our very own Jake Seymour of Boston's Power Hour at Boston Sports Center 617. A great recommendation. Top number 1 picks, any of the 4 major sports.
Yeah.
Since 1980.
Yes, correct. And we determined this because once you get before 1980, it gets kind of dicey in terms of like leagues with like the NHL. You had the WHL and the NHL merger and stuff wasn't really solidified. And then you go even further back than that, the NBA and the NFL get kind of wonky too. So just 1980, kind of a decent cutoff for what you would consider modern era, for lack of a better term. So that's where we went.
Graham, you want to?
And I'm including Shaq, right? I'm including Shaq.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. That works.
Anthony, no,
right,
I prohibit you from
no Shaq.
Pat, you're tripping on that one. I got All right. I'm gonna make Jordan mad with this one. All right. My honorable mention. No, my honorable mention. I have Hakeem as an honorable mention.
Okay.
And this is the reason. Okay, so I respect Hakeem more as a center than I do as a number one pick, only because the Rockets took him over Michael Jordan, and for that reason, he will never be a top 10 number one pick to me.
Oh my God, horrible take. But go ahead.
No, you can't say that.
You're knocking his ranking in all-time number one picks because they took him over MJ.
Over the best player of all time.
Isn't that on the team, not the player?
I mean, that's on the team. That's like taking Melo over Dwayne. Like, I mean, it's still a good pick. Actually, not. I mean, Melo didn't win a ring, but I don't think it's a bad pick taking Hakeem, considering.
I don't think it's a bad pick at all. I don't think it is. I'm just saying it could have been better. You know.
Sure, but that's on the Houston Rockets, not on Hakeem Olajuwon.
All right. Well, we agree mostly on the rest of this list, so we'll just get into it. I got number 10. I got Chipper Jones. Got to show my Braves some love. I'm a Red Sox fan at heart, but being from North Carolina, the Braves are the closest team to me, so a lot of people around here pull for him. So Chipper Jones, number 10. I got Allen Iverson at number 9. I got Tim Duncan at number 8. Alex Ovechkin at number 7, and Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby at number 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into mine if you guys don't mind. Honorable mention: I put Sidney Crosby and Allen Iverson.
Oh my God!
Sid,
go ahead.
Your list, and it still shocks me that you don't have.
Save it. Let's let him. We gotta hear him.
Number 10, I have Troy Aikman. Number 9, I have Bruce Smith. What have I got? Because my list is a little thrown off now. I'm at 7, right?
Yeah.
7, I got Ken Griffey Jr., and then at 6, I got Alex Rodriguez.
Now, did you have an 8?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you gave your 8.
Yeah, I don't think you gave your 8.
Just give your 10 through 6 again.
Bruce.
Yeah.
So number 10, I have Troy Aikman.
Oh, my bad. You did. I'm sorry.
Number 9, I have Bruce Smith. Number 8, I have Ken Griffey Jr. 7 is A-Rod, and then 6 is Hakeem. Because my list got a little thrown off with.
I like the Hakeem respect, though. I appreciate that. Graham needs to learn.
I'm trying so hard to make amends with you, bro. Like,
we're gonna agree, though. We're gonna agree. Okay, but the Hakeem disrespect went a little too far. But it's okay.
All right.
All right. I'll go next. So I didn't actually put honorable mentions, but I remember 2. John Elway is one of them, and I had A-Rod actually in my top 10. I don't even know if he deserves honorable mention respect, but I completely forgot that he had that whole roid scandal, so I just bumped him out because of that. I don't fuck with that.
That's what I'm gonna get into.
Well, so did Poppy, but Poppy's gone.
Well, I don't know. Well, that's for another episode. So I have Chipper Jones at 10. I had him out, but I replaced him with his A-Rod. I have Duncan at 9. I have Hakeem at 8.
Oh my God, you guys.
I've got Crosby at 6. And I have Griffey at Crosby at 7, Griffey at 6. Yeah.
Tim Duncan disrespect, man. It's killing me.
Listen.
I can see that.
Listen, all right. Tim Duncan is great. Tim Duncan is everything wonderful with the world because he went to Wake Forest, which is in my hometown, and I love him for that. Also, he played for the Popovich Spurs, which is one of the most kick-ass teams of all time. So, I can't deny it. I have him on my list. It's not even that bad. But, to say that Tim Duncan was a better number 1 overall pick than, Ken Griffey Jr., one of the best players in the history of the game of baseball, is just absurd to me.
I would argue, though, there's some people that think Duncan's top 5 ever. And that he's better than Bird.
I think Duncan doesn't get the respect all time. He's definitely top 10.
I agree.
He checks all the boxes.
I think
he checks every single box.
And he's one Ray Allen miss away from being 6-0. And the only other guy who's 6-0 is obviously MJ. So, if Ray Allen misses that 3-pointer, not only does it affect LeBron's legacy, Duncan is probably arguably a top 4 or 5 player in NBA history. So, I mean, I think Duncan does get disrespected a lot, but I also had to stay consistent because, I know where I rank them all time in NBA, like Hakeem and Duncan and everything. So I had to make sure I wasn't like fucking like putting guys over, ones I didn't have on my actual list. But yeah, no, I respect that, Pat. I think Duncan does get disrespected. I may have disrespected him a bit in this list.
I gotta explain myself for why Shaq is an honorable mention for me. If we're going by top number 1 picks,
I missed that.
I'm making him an honorable mention because of what he accomplished on the team that drafted him. He won with the Lakers, not with the Magic. So if we're going with number 1 picks, I kind of want to give more credit to the guys who happen to have success on the team that drafted them.
Okay, so I took a
getting into it. Getting into it.
But
10, I have Bruce Smith. 9, I got Chipper Jones. 8, I have John Elway. 7, I got Sidney Crosby. And 6, I have Hakeem Olajuwon.
So,
okay.
for the first time in this podcast's history, I'm going to voluntarily get into baseball. I wrote down a couple of stats between A-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr., and I feel like this debate can go either way, because obviously Ken Griffey is one of the greatest baseball players in MLB history, but I think it comes down to your stance on steroids. If you're for them, it's got to be A-Rod in terms of number 1 picks, but if you're not for steroids, then you're going to go for Ken Griffey, but for some reason, I don't know, steroids don't bother me.
I think the argument, like,
I agree with you.
Hey, what is that going to do? I'm not juicing.
I think the steroid argument is fair, but I would like kind of twist it a little bit and say that I think it's either if you believe that, like, the argument with Bonds is like the league was aware of it but didn't actually try to stop it because it was good for the game. If you think that A-Rod was using and the league was kind of pushing it off like it wasn't anything, it's kind of like, do you blame A-Rod for that? Like, I don't think Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame because of that. I don't think A-Rod should be in my top list.
I don't know.
I think it's kind of like,
I think it's with Bonds is before he even was using them.
Sure.
He had, but I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously.
But my thing is, it's the action of using them. It's not that he wasn't going to be a Hall of Fame player. It's that he was, and then he used them, and that eliminates him.
Yeah.
So here's the thing for me: when you get into A-Rod and Griffey, A-Rod was a great player, sure. He had the steroids. Make what you will of that. But Ken Griffey Jr. revolutionized the game of baseball and made it marketable to a group of people that were not interested in the game whatsoever. He was absolutely electric, and he made the game, like, he made it enjoyable for little kids, which is something that it was not before he entered the league. Like, you see pictures of him, like, hitting batting practice with his hat on backwards. That was something that nobody did. Baseball was such a gentleman's game. He brought his own swagger into the game and completely changed the landscape of the MLB, which is something that A-Rod could have never dreamed of doing. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm not a big baseball guy, and I went straight according to stats. I would never have known that if Graham never mentioned that. But A-Rod was a 3-time league MVP, 14-time All-Star, and he hit 700 home runs in his career, which is absolutely amazing to me. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a baseball guy, but those numbers kind of jumped out at me.
Statistically, I think it's extremely close. But Graham does have that is a good argument of who had more impact on the game of baseball. And it's Griffey without a doubt. Like, it's not even close. But in terms of, like, if you want to look at, like, who had a more successful career, I would probably argue A-Rod. But again, the steroids prevent, I think, him being put over.
Steroids are good. No.
They're talking like a true wrestler.
This is the same dude who has said don't do drugs on like 3 of the last 4 episodes.
Don't do bad drugs.
Only if you're a celebrity.
Only HGH.
All right.
Yeah.
We ready to get into top 5?
I have never done steroids.
Yeah, top 5. I think me and Graham like have very similar ones, I think.
Similar. All right. Number 5, I got Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
4, I got Griffey. 3, Mario Lemieux. And number 2, Peyton Manning. Number 1, no contest, LeBron James.
Okay. All right. Anthony, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So number 5, I got Mario Lemieux. Number 4, I got Shaq. Tim Duncan 3, and then the same as Graham, I had Peyton Manning at 2 and LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson at 1.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Shut up.
Jeez.
All right. So I have Shaq at 5. I've got Ovi at 4. I've got Lemieux at 3, Manning at 2, LeBron at 1.
I hate Alexander Ovechkin with every fiber of my being.
I know. Wait, did you have him on your list?
Yeah, I got him at 7.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I can't disrespect him that much, but I put him below Sid.
Yeah. See. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Pat. I don't want to.
I'll wear my Sid jersey next week.
You have a Sid jersey?
My brother's Sid jersey. He's a Penguins guy.
Burn that shit.
Yeah. I've got Lemieux at 5. I've got Manning at 4.
Wow.
I've got Ovechkin at 3. Duncan at 2. LeBron at 1. Graham can attest to this. In the original list I sent him, I had Duncan at 1.
That's crazy.
And then I switched it. I was like,
that?
I thought he was smoking crack, dude, because it was like 1:30 in the morning when he sent me the list.
Yeah, it was like 3 a.m.
That's crazy. You had him over LeBron.
Duncan had 5 rings on the team that drafted him. LeBron, he delivered on his promise to get 1, but I mean, 1 versus 5, it's tough. But I gave it to LeBron.
If you want to go that way, in terms of the team that drafted you, I can see the Tim Duncan argument. But at the same time, like, LeBron James is unquestionably top 3 in the game of basketball all the time, if not top 2.
Top 2.
And some people would say top 1. But, yeah, I think he's number 2. But, like, no matter how you spin it, dude, like,
or how you
I don't know how you can say anyone. Yeah, I don't know how you can say anyone other than LeBron at number 1.
I'll give you this, Pat. If Duncan were to have beaten the Heat, and Ray Allen would have missed that shot,
would not be where he is all time if he had lost that.
That gives LeBron 1 less ring, gives Duncan 1 other ring, and he's 6-0. And then I think there's actually a conversation.
I think that drastically
exactly
changes it.
But I don't know. I just can't justify putting LeBron or Duncan.
That would be interesting. You should do like a whole blog,
before
that shot and run
the
through the
NFL
whole scenario.
Yeah, a lot of shit would change. LeBron might not be top 5.
That's really interesting to think about, and I've never thought about that.
The 2 and 7, maybe not even. He might not have even gone back to Cleveland when he did, and then
that's going to keep me up.
God knows what could have happened.
Yeah.
He would have gone to Brooklyn to join Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and the Nets.
Oh,
that team might have won if they had LeBron there. They probably would have.
Then he'd still be there with KD and Kyrie.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That team would be disgusting.
Kevin Durant,
LeBron, KD, and Kyrie.
That would be like the most hated team, I think.
Don't give him any ideas.
History.
Kevin Durant, 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
All right, so
shall we go to
the most controversial of all controversial?
Wait, did either of you have Obi? Oh no, Pat, you did. Anthony, did you?
No.
All right.
Obi will pass
the little head shake
by the time he retires.
Greatest goal scorer ever. Alexander.
Obi will pass Gretzky.
Yeah.
I think the football came out in me having Troy Aikman on the list.
I think so too. I saw that. I saw your list and I was like, oh gosh.
That caught me off guard. But
I like the diversity. All right.
I do too. I gotta get back 2 baseball players. All right.
Yeah. Let's move on to our final. The biggest one, the most controversial. I know it's gonna happen. I know there's.
I know. We're not gonna have. I predict very between all 4 of us, whatever comparisons you want to make. I don't think we're gonna have at least in the 5 through 10 spots, 4 of the same teams, 3 of the same teams. I think that area.
You would be surprised.
Really.
There's gonna be some
discussion.
There's definitely gonna be some.
We've already had a discussion.
Real quick, gotta give the shout out. This list was brought to us by yours truly. Follow me on Instagram @_Graham Tuck. This was my idea. Thank you very much.
Shameless self plug.
So number.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honorable mentions. I have 3 honorable mentions. I have the 04 Red Sox. Because while they were not a great regular season team and they were not dominant, that postseason run is one of the most iconic in all of sports. And so I wanted to have them on my top 10. I just couldn't justify it. I also have the 2016 New England Patriots, the team that beat the Falcons in Super Bowl 51, as an honorable mention.
What was the score?
It was 28-3. And if you look at my Instagram, that was on my graduation cap. which is quite possibly one of the best things I have ever done in my life. And I also have honorable mention the 92 Dream Team, because since they are not one of the four, they're not in the MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, I couldn't put them on my list. I couldn't justify it, but they were just ridiculous. So 92 Dream
the
Team.
greatest sports team ever.
Yes, true.
Who's
All right,
that?
number 10. Number 10, I have the 1989.
Oh, he's breaking.
I've got the.
Yo, Graham, run that back. I couldn't hear you.
Y'all
Yeah,
hear me?
just for a second.
You were breaking up.
Might be.
No, you're
I
good.
got the 1989 49ers at number 10
Okay.
89.
because, yeah, the 89 49ers, that team was insane. They went
Yeah.
14-2 in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, they outscored their opponents by like 200 points or something like that. Like their playoff one was
Super Bowl that
absolutely
year?
ridiculous.
I feel like I should know.
Bengals.
Oh, that was the second Bengals.
play-
run.
That was the. mhm.
Go ahead.
So, all right, and then number 9, I have the 87 Lakers, which was the best team of the Showtime era. I have, at number 8, I've got the 2017 Warriors, which was the first finals run after Kevin Durant signed, I believe.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
17 was, yeah. Number 7, I've got the 84 Oilers.
Okay.
Number 6, I've got the 98 Yankees.
Wow.
All right,
All right.
that works.
All right, I can go next. So for honorable mentions, I got the 87 Lakers, so Showtime Lakers. I got the 95 Cowboys. I'll throw the 72 Dolphins in there. This is where the controversy
Oh,
starts.
you.
Hey, yo.
And then the 20.
Time out,
20.
rewind. What?
Anthony, you don't read the chat, do you?
I don't.
This was talked about. This was dissected.
This was in the
about
IG chat.
about 2 days ago.
I don't
We'll
check.
get into it. Let me just get through my.
I'll check my
through the
phone.
10 to 6. All right, and then I have the 2013 Miami Heat. Number 10. I have the 78 Steelers. 9 Hall of Famers, 10 Pro Bowlers, 4 all first team. Great team.
Did they go undefeated though? No, keep going.
More competition. All right. Moving on. The 86 Celtics I have at 9. That was like the Hall of Fame team. They beat Jordan in the first round. They only lost 3 times in the playoffs, and they were 67-15. Like probably the best Celtics team ever assembled. At number 8, I have the 89 49ers. Like Graham said, the playoff scoring was 126-26. That was the scoring margin. So ridiculous. And Montana's passer rating was like 140 something that year. So he was just disgusting.
That team was nasty.
Yeah. At number, what am I on? 7? Yeah, 7. I have the 2018 Red Sox. So I mean, I don't know if you guys will have that, but I felt like it was kind of a hot take.
I was thinking about that one. I like that you included that one. I
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know.
They were the best Red Sox team ever.
Yeah, and you could make the argument that they might be the best baseball team ever, just because like Mookie that year was gross. They only lost 3 times in the playoffs, and most wins ever since the '98 Yankees that Graham ranked so low. And then at number 6, I have the 17 Warriors. Obviously, the year after they signed KD, like maybe the best team ever assembled in the NBA, and then obviously they only lost once in the playoffs, which is crazy.
I'm gonna
No
go
respect.
next. My honorable mentions. I have the 1975 Chicago Reds.
Big Red Machine.
I have another 2. I got the 1977 Montreal Canadiens, and then a little bit of an oddball here. I've got the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Throwing a little
okay.
bit of college in there.
Throw a little college ball in there. All right, number 10, I got the 84 Niners, just because I think that team was so electric, and I think they brought in a whole new generation to the NFL. Birth of a dynasty, literally. Number 9, I got the 2016 Pats, just because 28-3, and I think that was probably the team with the most heart out of all of the championship squads.
Unbiased.
I'm saying that team had the most heart. Out of
No. I feel the need to say that now every time.
Okay.
everything.
Number 8, I have the 92 USA Dream Team. Number 7, I have the 84-85 Lakers. And then number 6, I have the Golden State Warriors 2016, 2017 after they signed Kevin Durant.
Nice.
All right.
I pass here.
Honorable mention, I got the 89 49ers in the 15-16 Cavs. Obviously, like greatest comeback NBA history, NBA Finals history. And Jordan, since you mentioned the Red Sox, I'll throw them on there. 2018 Red Sox. Boom, there you go. 10, I got the 87 Lakers. 9, I got the 86 Celtics. 8, I've got the 92 Penguins. 7, I have the Kevin Durant Warriors, 16-17. And 6, I think Jordan's not going to like this, 98 Yankees.
Oh.
All right, so
you had the Warriors.
Let's get into the Dolphins argument. I'm going to get rated right now.
Wait, did you say the Dolphins?
Let's get to the Dolphins when we get up.
Okay, wait. We'll get to the Dolphins when the rest of us get to them. But like, Pat, here, come on, buddy. Like, how that 92 Penguins team finished third in their division that year. They finished third in the division. They didn't even break 90 points in the regular season. I don't know how you're putting them on your top 10.
Graham, can I be honest?
Yes.
I needed another hockey team to throw in there, and I looked up great hockey teams.
I respect that.
Did the Penguins win the title that year?
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, performed in the playoffs.
Okay, listen. If you
have the Warriors so low?
I'll give. You know what? I'll stand by my point. I'll back it till I die. I'll give them credit for what they did in the playoffs, whatever they did. I really don't know the specifics. I'm sure they did something great. They must have won, so
I want to know who put the Warriors with Kevin Durant so low.
I had them at
low.
7.
I had them at 6.
I feel like I had to put them so high because they literally turned the entire world against them because they were that good.
That team was unbeatable.
I think I would have put them higher if Kevin Durant wasn't a bitch. I would have put him higher, but he is.
Exactly, they turned you against them.
No, literally, I remember that July 4th. I was on vacation. That was my first day of
vacation.
Oh, yeah. 2016. Ruined my vacation.
I'll never forget where I was that day.
Not only did
I was on the toilet when I found out.
Not only did he just absolutely
on the grass.
deny Tom Brady and Kelly Olynyk. I don't know why Kelly Olynyk was on the recruiting project, but that's probably why he didn't sign with the Celtics, if we're being honest.
I remember there were so many mixed rumors about. I think there was one rumor that the day before he signed with the Warriors, he was going to sign with the Celtics, and everyone was like, "Oh man, this is going to be life changing, and we're going to finally win another title." And then it was mid-afternoon, I think, when he decided with the Warriors, and I couldn't. Yeah. Oh my god! The season was pretty much over. That was it.
You know who pulled Kevin Durant to the Warriors? Guy Fieri. Let's not get into that.
That is true. Unsung hero of the 16-17 championship Warriors. Guy Fieri.
His ring.
But I want to get into the 92 Dream Team real quick. I feel like I should have included them because they united a whole entire nation. This team was so good and dominant that everybody around the world wanted to watch them. Not even the country, because obviously the NFL is based in America and it's mainly an American sport. But that team, everybody around the world knew to look out for them. And they knew what was coming. They knew whatever team they played, they were going to kick their ass. And they did just that, and they put on a show doing it. And I had to include them just for that.
I would have put them on. I didn't know where we drew the line. But, I mean, I think it's fine to put them on there. But you could say that the Miracle on Ice team would deserve to be on the top 10 too, just because what they did wasn't necessarily their skill was outstanding, but I mean what they did was phenomenal.
They made that a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, Miracle on Ice.
Yes,
I'm
Miracle.
I'm waiting for the Dream Team Disney movie.
It's called Space Jam 2. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Space Jam 2. For the sake of my already tarnished reputation among you guys, why don't you slide out the 92 Penguins and put the Niners at 10?
All right, word.
I feel
who's gonna take it away to 5? Graham went first, right?
Go 5, yeah.
All right, number 5. I got and here's my thing. All right, before Jordan goes in on me, I think that 1 through 6 is tight. All of these teams are great, and it was just a matter of preference. And so the only reason that I have this team at 5 is because they weren't the best team ever in their sport, which I can say for the rest of my top 4. So at number 5, I have the 1985 Bears.
Okay.
Number 4, I've got the 77 Montreal Canadiens. Number 3, I've got the 1927 Murderers Row Yankees. Number 2, I've got the 72-10 96 Bulls. Number 1, undefeated season Miami Dolphins, 1972.
All right. So your Bears take it. I don't disagree with that. Like, all right. So I have the Oilers. I have the 84 Oilers at 5. They had most goals ever in a season, and they had 6 Hall of Famers. The team was really good. Then at 4, I have the 85 Bears. Like I think they only had 1 loss. They had like a shit ton of Pro Bowl.
They were 15-1.
Yeah, and their playoff run was gross. I mean, the defense was like less than 10 points.
It's insane
combined or something. Yeah, something crazy. Number 3, I have the 95-96 Bulls. You don't really need to, obviously, why they're there. At 2, I have the 77 Habs. That to me is the best hockey team ever. And they their goal differential is .216. They only lost twice in the playoffs. They ran through the competition. Yeah. And then 1, I have the 98 Yankees. I think they're the best baseball team ever. Only 2 losses in the playoffs, 4 20 home run hitters, 4 above 300 hitters, which is unheard of nowadays. And they also had David Wells and Andy Pettit both had 140 strikeouts in the season, which is awesome.
And they had Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, and they had Rivera. They arguably had the best pitching staff and the best lineup in all of baseball, maybe ever. So that's why I think they got the number 1 spot.
Take it away here, but before I start, it pains me knowing that the 07 Patriots could have easily been number 1 on this list if they won the championship.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into that right now. It's a topic for another day. So at number 5, I have the 1984-1985 Edmonton Oilers. Number 4, I have the Bears. No more context there. Number 3, I have the 96 Bulls. 2, I have the undefeated 72 Dolphins. And then number 1, I have the 1927 New York Yankees.
All right.
I hesitated to throw the Yankees on there, but I didn't.
There were a lot of.
It was a different era of baseball.
Yeah.
I was researching teams for baseball, and so many of them were just. It was like Yankees.
Yeah.
for greatest MLB teams ever.
But the Yankees, during that time period, what did people have to do besides really nothing? That's when
smoke cigarettes and watch
have
baseball.
Kids.
Literally
have kids. Literally. Oh my God! Yeah, literally.
Prepare for the Great Depression.
Wait.
They didn't prepare.
They didn't do a very good job.
Try to live past 45.
The 1920s and baseball were a huge time in American history, and I feel like the Yankees really put sports on the map in America. And from the research I did, that 1927 team was the best out of all of them, so I had to include them there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ripped for having the Yankees at 1.
I think that's all right. I'm
glad you guys have a Yankees team in the top 3 because I think if I only had the Yankees up there, I would get ripped by the Red Sox fans. All right, sorry.
But here's the thing with the Yankees, real quick before you go, Pat. Real quick, I'm sorry.
Sure. No worries.
Yankees also haven't won a title since that 98, or since it's been 20 years. So and we've got Red Sox have 3 since then? No, 4.
The Yankees won in 09, I think.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean they haven't been successful in a decade.
Still, I think the title of this week's episode should be that David Ortiz quote. The Yankees lose.
The Yankees lose.
The Yankees lose.
Hey, we have a soundboard now. Let's get that in there right now.
Should I wear my?
I don't have it yet.
What do you think?
What did you
say, Anthony?
Should I wear my Big Papi jersey next week?
Yeah.
I mean, I said I was
I'll wear mine too.
I said I was wear Crosby, Kittle, said a lot of people I would wear, but.
Oh well.
Just wear them and gradually take them off as it goes on.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
I got 85 Oilers, 84 Oilers, whatever. I did 85 because that's what it ended in. At number 5, I got the 72 Dolphins at 4. I've got the 85 Bears at 3.
Hmm.
I've got the 27 Yankees at 2, and I have the 96 Bulls at 1 because I think culturally and dominance-wise and everything, I love Michael Jordan. I love basketball, my favorite sport. I'm going to put that number 1.
That's fair.
Right.
So
all right. That wasn't that bad.
I have to go in on you, Pat. I have to go in on you.
Oh, Pat, I thought you were going
because
Pat's
here's
getting bullied.
here's the thing. Graham, you're going at somebody who's defenseless here. I'm just going to put that out there. I got no defense whatsoever for this. Go ahead and change it. I did 0 research on the 92 Penguins.
I knew that you and Anthony. Okay, so Jordan and I both had the 94 or the 84 Oilers, and Anthony and Pat both had the 85 Oilers.
Yeah.
And the 84 Oilers were unquestionably the better team of the back-to-back. Like unquestionably. Also, and so that's that. I'm not too concerned about it. But the bigger thing that stuck out to me, like I was researching these Oilers teams and all of that. I don't know how much you guys know about hockey stats and what they mean and all that kind of stuff. But the goalie for the regular starter for the Oilers during those 84 and 85 teams, his goals against was like closer to 4 than it was to 3, which is horrible. Like that's garbage. The fact that the Oilers still managed to put up like almost 115 points in that 84 season and win a championship with a goalie that bad, like that says everything about Wayne Gretzky to me. Like that's all you need to know about him.
That was the 84 team, then the 85 team. They had a better goalie. Is what it was?
No, it was still bad. Wayne Gretzky's just that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact it's almost like they needed to score a record number of goals. Like I believe they still have the record for most goals ever. And if they didn't score that many goals, they might not have fucking won. So that's
they might not have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's just Wayne Gretzky is the number 1 athlete of all time to me across any of the sports. Like Michael Jordan is right there, Tom Brady's right there, but Gretzky was just like
Michael Jordan will
never been
in that category for me.
Oh,
I don't even know that much about hockey, but I feel like the gap between greatest hockey player ever being Wayne Gretzky, like the GOAT in hockey, I feel like the gap is greater between the second guy and the GOAT in hockey than any other sport.
Absolutely.
I feel like it absolutely has to be. Nobody has a problem with Gretzky being the GOAT.
Yeah. We finally got through it, boys.
Yeah, that was great.
Pretty good.
I can't wait to get ripped. All of us are gonna get ripped.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna get ripped. That's okay. We love the hate, right?
Honestly, Graham, you could probably leave the Penguins on there. I don't think there's enough hockey fans following Ride the Wave that I would get ripped for.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Especially since Lane isn't there to absolutely destroy you anymore.
Yeah. And also, I think people that are like casual hockey fans will just be like, early 90s Penguins, Lemieux, they probably deserve to be on there.
So,
like, they want
pretty much what I did when I saw, they won and they had Mario Lemieux, so let's throw him on there.
Yeah.
I feel like with every sport, it's like football, you have to be spot on, especially Ride the Wave, because that's our big following. And then basketball, and then baseball, and then hockey, and then whatever else there is.
Soccer.
Well, what's interesting about the list is that there's definitely like, when you rank, it's so hard because when you rank all time, everyone understands that way back, the competition was worse. It was just, in nearly every sport, just because they didn't have the medicine, they didn't have all the shit that they have now. So it's so hard to like the 27 Yankees, they were like a stupid good team. But the eras play a huge part in where I rank teams.
They were like fucking down in liquor between innings and smoking a pack a game.
Yeah.
All right,
but
I got a story.
Coach, I broke my foot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a story. Okay, so playing high school baseball, I had a teammate. I had 2 teammates my sophomore year. They were hilarious. They were seniors, so 2 years older than me. Noah Cruz and Lashad Johnson. And Lashad was our starting quarterback on varsity, and he was just the funniest dude you've ever met in your life. And so we had a game against this team from Lexington, North Carolina, and they were garbage. They were so bad. We knew that we were going to beat them by 20, the moment we walked into the stadium. That's how bad it was. And we weren't that good a team, and we knew we were going to beat them by 20. So that's how you knew they were bad. And so we walk in, and we're getting ready, pre-game warm-ups, all that kind of stuff, getting ready to long toss. And Lashad walks up to Noah with his Gatorade squirt bottle. He's like, "Hey Noah, you want some orange juice?" And he takes the cap off, and Noah smells it's like he put vodka in the Gatorade bottle, orange Gatorade, and Noah smells it. He's like, "That ain't orange juice, bro." They were just sipping on it the entire game. They were sipping on it for the whole game. I think Lashad had 2 strikeouts on the mound. He didn't play a whole lot, but he had 2 strikeouts, and Noah didn't make an error in the field, and they were sipping on that.
It's like
I hope your high school baseball coach listens to us and hears that story.
I hope so too. Coach Hawks, this happened at Lexington my sophomore year. If you didn't know, now you know. What are you going to do about it?
It's like the guy from Benchwarmers, like I am 12, and he's down in 6-pack.
Yes.
Exactly what it's like.
Hold on. I got it right, bro. That's my favorite sports movie of all time. Hold on.
What's Graham going to pull out? Taking bets.
For my bag of tricks.
Oh shit!
Wow.
My I am 12 jersey. From the Benchwarmers. I bought it online. I paid $50 for it, and it was here within 1 business day.
Damn!
Best
really?
product I've ever spent in my life. Yes. I'll send you guys the link after we stop recording. But
he doesn't want it leaked.
We're gonna do closing thoughts or no?
Oh yeah, we can do closing thoughts.
Sure.
Closing thoughts. The Redskins are the worst organization in pro sports right now.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a very reasonable take.
Yeah.
We were discussing before we shot. We were like, we definitely want to do the top 10 list, but is there any big news that we should really spend a little time and talk about? And I really forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought about that during the podcast.
Not a good look for the Redskins.
True.
It's probably when I was talking about Brian Mitchell.
Yeah. Exactly. When you mentioned the Redskins, I was like, oh, they're in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah.
Paying
The
off
Redskins,
the rest, still losing.
Wonder how many draft picks are going to lose because of this.
So many, dude.
Patriots might lose one.
Yeah, true.
So here's my thing. Which will go down as worse from an owner standpoint? Dan Snyder with what he did in Washington, or Donald Sterling and what he did with the Clippers? Because both were very, very bad.
I feel like no matter what I answer on this, I could potentially get ripped to shreds.
You're getting ripped apart.
Group. Let's just say they're both awful people.
They were both awful.
Here's the thing.
I think it depends on the severity of Dan Snyder's actions.
Yeah,
like if
you gotta wait.
If he was literally fostering like a sexual abuse,
that's terrible.
Ring, like that is literally like deepest layer.
That's got Jake and Robert Kraft look really good right now for the whole rub and tug thing with the
rub and tug.
Yeah, everyone after the Patriots for what Kraft did, they're all silent now with what the Redskins did. Every fucking Redskins fan that was making fun of us.
Well, did you guys see?
Okay.
DJ
Redskins
posted his texts with Jay Gruden, and it was like,
that's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Jay Gruden was like, Jay Gruden's acting like he can beat up DJ Swearinger. I'm like, yeah, right, buddy. 45-year-old overweight chubby man.
Dude,
gonna beat up.
As if they didn't already need a name change. Now they definitely fucking need one. They just need to wipe the
franchise change. Get it
clean
out.
everyone out.
They need Thanos to come in, but only for the Redskins. Just only for the Redskins. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other thing about that situation is that one of the worst things that I think the whole thing where was it that Gruden was sleeping with the same woman as one of his running backs, so he benched the running back, and then his replacement missed the block that ended up in Alex Smith absolutely obliterating his leg and almost dying.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
That's horrible.
Smith has some deep hatred.
He probably doesn't
feel bad.
Yeah.
So Jay Gruden should have been fired like 3 years ago anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's just people.
He must have had news of like Dan Snyder to be able to keep.
I don't know if you guys saw it. There were so many rumors going around like before shit got released, and one of them was like that the Redskins like paid their refs to like make calls for them, and some like anonymous
6 and 10 every year.
Yeah, some anonymous player was like he laughed it off and he said like if that's the case, like we need our money back, which is fucking hilarious. Someone who would start that rumor? Who would believe it? Like it's the same thing of like the Patriots filming the Bengals to like gain the advantage. We don't need no fucking advantage.
That game was actually
advantage.
Tight.
We don't need no stinking advantage. All right.
Oh, before we
go ahead.
sign off here, I want to go a bit off topic. Next Saturday, there's going to be this big wrestling super card on Flow Wrestling, amateur wrestling. I'm not sure if it's folk style or freestyle. And the one match I'm really excited to watch, I don't know the weight class, Vito Arujau versus Sammy Alvarez. Cornell versus Rutgers action going on here. And I've been watching, like Flow Wrestling has been posting Vito's matches on their YouTube. Shout out Long Island. He went to Syosset High School, Strong Island proud. That kid's a fucking tank. He really is. You guys, I don't know if you guys would appreciate it, but this kid just, every match he goes out, he just fucking goes right after the guy, and he just doesn't stop. And he ended up, I think when he was in either 8th or 9th grade, he went to the state finals and ended up wrestling his future teammate at Cornell, Yanni Diakmahalis, and I think Yanni ended up beating him in overtime. They meet a few years later in freestyle, and fucking Vito techs him. He made Yanni look like a little bitch, but I posted a video. of Vito on my Instagram story. Go check that out.
Word.
I'll have to do that.
Let's find Paul.
There's another sound bite. Made him look like a little bitch.
Yes. So, on that note, big things coming to the podcast. We are working on getting a board put up, so we'll have sound bites of random crap that Anthony has said that we found funny from previous episodes, along with other sound clips, probably an intro theme, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. We're working on it. Have it soon. Going to make this a lot more of a professional experience for you guys listening. So
yeah,
every episode is going to have to be explicit. Not that it isn't already.
Well, okay. Anthony opened Pandora's box and I had to use it.
Yeah.
Once it's started, there's no going back.
Someone says it by accident, and then that's it. Then it's not for kids. Then we got to click the not for kids button.
This video is not for fucking
and then all
kids.
bets are off as soon as the line is crossed.
Oh, gosh.
All right. I don't have any final thoughts. So.
Yeah, I don't either.
Fuck the Redskins. That's about it.
Oh, wait, no. I had
about
the
it.
Redskins. Okay. All right. See y'all next week.
Yep.
The Yankees lose.